In all of the examples so far, we've registered components one by one, which is extremely tedious, especially if you've got lots of components. So in this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to register them in bulk by simply scanning the assembly. So let's grab the assembly. Var assembly equals assembly.get executing assembly. So now that I have my assembly, what I can do is I can make a builder as before. So var builder equals new container builder, but this time round I'm going to do something different. So as soon as I fix the spelling, I'm going to call builder dot register assembly types. So this lets me register all the types from a particular assembly. So here I can specify the assembly and I'm done. This will register every single type. Now this construct has plenty of customization because you can register all the types, which is what I'm doing right now, but you can also filter things. So for example, I can restrict myself to just registering the types whose names end with log, for example, and this is done using the where extension method, very similar to the way LINQ does it. So where, and you can see that it's a function which takes a type and returns a bool, so it's a predicate, and here the type, I can just say t.name.ends with log. So this restricts the registration to only types which actually end with log. I can also further filter this construct by, for example, saying that I don't want to register, let's say, SMS log. And the way this is done is using accept. So I say dot accept SMS log, and this means it will register every single log class except SMS log. Now, in addition, what I can do is I can customize the registration process. So for example, in the case of a console log, I might want to register it as an ilog and also make sure it's a singleton. So I can say accept console log, and in the specific case of the console log, I'll provide a lambda, which, as you can see here, it takes an iRegistration builder, and what I do with this lambda is I say c.as ilog, like so, dot single instance. So in this case, I'm trying to register all the logging components except SMS log, and in the case of console log, I'm also doing some additional customization. By the way, it's also possible to say as self here. And if you do that, then all of these components will be registered both as themselves as well as any interface or any services that we've requested. So in the case of a console log, as soon as I do as self, it will be registered both as a console log component as well as an ilog service. Okay, so this is an approach that you can take with the kind of registration taking from the assembly. Of course, instead of explicitly specifying the interface here as an ilog, for example, I can use reflection because most of this is built on reflection anyway. I mean, this t here is a type, so you can sort of know that we're using reflection. So for example, I can go ahead and do something like the following. I can say register assembly types from assembly. I can say that I want to register all except SMS log, and I can register only the types where something ends with a log. So once again, I can say where t.name ends with log. But then what I can do is I can say as, and instead of having as in the generic arguments as before, I can say as just with round brackets, and here I can write a predicate on t. So from the given type, I can say t.get interfaces and get the first interface. So what I'm basically saying is grab all the logging classes except SMS log, and please register them to provide a service which corresponds to the first interface which they implement, which is also rather convenient.